Saints versus Falcons for the second time in 2 weeks. I thought the Falcons were going to be able to pull the upset at home versus the Saints. I thought they were going to have film on Taysom Hill. But to my surprise, Taysom Hill actually played really good. I got to give him props. I got to, give props when people deserve it. 27 for 37, 232 yards, 2 touchdowns. He was able to throw the ball relatively accurate. He also rushed for 83 yards. I think this is his strongest part of his game. He's a physical runner. He's not afraid to get dirty, throw his body on the line. That's what I like about Taysom Hill. He's tough. There's one word to describe Taysom Hill is he's tough, he's gritty, and he's going to put it all on the line for the team. He did have a turnover at the end of the game that could have been costly, but the Falcons were not able to come all the way back. So good for the Saints. They escape Atlanta 21-16. The Saints really have a nice defense. They're one of the best defenses. Underrated defense. They do like just enough. They get enough pressure on the quarterback. They bend, but they don't break. They're a good defense. I like the Saints defense. The Saints offense is good too. Once Drew Brees comes back, they'll be real scary. The matchup that I'm looking the most forward to is the New Orleans Saints versus the Kansas City Chiefs in 2 weeks. I'm very curious to see if Drew Brees will be back by then. They're saying Taysom Hill's still going to play this week, but we don't know about the Kansas City Chiefs game in 2 weeks. I think it will be exciting either way. I kind of want to see how Taysom Hill goes against Andy Reid and that defense, and if he's able to ball out, and if he does, maybe pulls off an upset, and then the Taysom Hill like hype train will just go crazy. There might be a quarterback controversy. They might say, well, damn, we just beat the Chiefs. Should we even go back to Drew Brees? I don't know if the Saints want that problem in their hand. So if Drew Brees is healthy, I'm pretty sure they'll just thank Taysom Hill for riding the ship, for being this year's version of Teddy Bridgewater next year, and then they'll hand the keys over to Drew Brees. And then if Drew Brees is able to get like an upset win against the Chiefs, then it will like silence the few people that will want Taysom Hill to keep going. And if they lose, well then it's the Chiefs, and it's not that big of a deal. So I think the Saints are positioning themselves to get that number 1 seed. The Packers do have an easier schedule, so if the Saints slip up just one game, the Packers could leapfrog them. And I think the Saints need that bye more than the Packers because their QB is a little older, or like 5 years older than Aaron Rodgers. So Drew Brees needs that bye. I think they should be able to hold on if they're able to upset the Chiefs. That's the only game that they could potentially lose. But one more time, I wanted to give Taysom Hill a shout out. I was kind of rough on him, calling him a tight end playing quarterback, and I thought he was going to get exposed by the Falcons. Falcons don't have the best defense, but they did, play really good against the Raiders last week. It was a great showing. Raheem Morris kind of turned that team around a little bit. So that was my justification in thinking Taysom Hill was going to struggle. And Taysom Hill didn't look good against the Broncos. Maybe that was the script of the game, but it looked like they didn't want him to throw the game away. Like they didn't trust him. So that kind of like steered me in the other direction. But Taysom Hill plays pretty clean football, and that's all the Saints need him to play at this moment. Keep the chains moving. And Taysom Hill being a dual threat, he's able to provide that for the Saints. I'm curious to see how teams will adapt to him. Like we've seen how teams adapt to Lamar Jackson. So I'm curious to see how teams, once Taysom Hill gets more and more tape, how they're able to adapt, and if he's able to adapt with them and like stay one step ahead of them. He does have Sean Payton, who's an offensive genius, so that probably helps him. Unlike Lamar Jackson, who has Harbaugh, and he was a special teams coach. So maybe Taysom Hill has that edge over Jackson, that he has a better coach and a coach that could like help him mature into a better quarterback or mature as teams figure him out. So I think Taysom Hill has done enough to at least be the top candidate for that starting position once Drew Brees hangs it up. Doesn't mean the Saints shouldn't look for like maybe some free agents that are available, or maybe even trading for Dak Prescott, or trading for Matthew Stafford, or maybe drafting a quarterback. I think the Saints should, and they probably will, explore all their options, even give Winston a chance. But Taysom Hill, he's done enough to at least, get a fair shot at being the franchise quarterback moving forward after Drew Brees. He's done enough. He hasn't messed up. He hasn't messed it up. He's 3-0. So good for Taysom Hill. I'm happy for him. He's a gritty guy. I didn't believe in him at the beginning. He's starting to make me a believer. I do want to see more. I do want to see how he does this upcoming week against the Eagles. Eagles, they don't have like a stifling defense, but I just want to see if he's able to build on this. Get like another 200 yards passing, get another 50 yards rushing, no turnovers. Let's see if he can have some clean games back to back. But he's starting to make me a believer. Sean Payton, I'm definitely a believer. Sean Payton, he's a great quarterback. And the Saints took care of business. That was my upset of the week. I wanted to pick Washington over the Steelers, but I didn't. They still got to play, so we'll see how that turns out. But my upset of the week was the Falcons upsetting the Saints, and the Saints proving that they're a good team. They get a tough win in Atlanta. So shout out to the Saints. They stay the number 1 seed in the NFC.